Okay, April 29th. 1975, President Gerald Ford announces the evacuation of the American embassy in Saigon, Vietnam. The Vietnam War had ended in 73 with the Paris Peace Accords. But in 75, the North Vietnamese launched some major offensives. And finally, with no support from the American public, Gerald Ford decides to essentially call it quits and declare defeat in Vietnam. So the Vietnam War, while under Eisenhower and Kennedy we had advisors in Vietnam, the war really picked up in '64 with the Gulf of Tonkin resolution and with under Lyndon Johnson, and then through the Nixon administration, and then the Paris Peace Accords in '73. So about a 9-year war. Up until that point, had been the longest war in American history, until the post 9/11 Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Almost 60,000 American casualties in Vietnam killed. So really, the American public had no stomach to continue fighting in Vietnam. So when the offensives were launched and South Korea was in trouble again, South Vietnam was in trouble again, Gerald Ford decided that it was time for us to exit. And so there's the dramatic footage of the helicopters coming into the embassy to take out not only the Americans, but there were several South Vietnamese that supported the Americans, and they didn't want to leave them behind. And so we were bringing out these South Vietnamese supporters, or pro-South Vietnamese people that had helped us to try and get them to safety. So there's dramatic footage of these helicopters landing on aircraft carriers, getting people off, and then just shoving the helicopters into the ocean because there just wasn't enough space. But anyway, so that happened today. 1975, Gerald Ford announces the closing of the American embassy in Saigon. I will see you tomorrow.